welcome, guys. This is Togwe here, and this is my weekly recap. First of all, I like to start this week. This week I took six trades, and all of them were nonsense. Like all of them were losses, and the losses. Actually, the first two trades that I took on ZAR USD, I didn't wait for my confirmation. I was just trying to trade based off of hunch and everything. So I took that loss, and I understood why I took that loss. It was my fault. I understood that. And the rest of the trades that I took two losses on ZAR USD. The first one, I think it was on Wednesday, it stopped me out by a pip, went straight to my take profit. The second one also stopped me out, went straight to my take profit. And I also took two trade on USD JPY. The losses were actually my fault. Also, there was something that I could have done better. I was trading a model that I was trading on gold. I was trading that model and on USD JPY on forex pair, and that model, now I have the confirmation that that model doesn't work on forex pair. It only works on ZAL USD. So I'm gonna stop trading that model. I'm not gonna trade that model. So during Asia, I'm not gonna be touching any forex pair. I'm only going to be taking trading the forex pair doing London and New York. And there was something that I could have done. The setups were actually my good setup, but because I was using the gap model to chase the trade. I wasn't really looking at where I should be taking. I wasn't really looking at my other blocks, where I should be placing my proper SL and everything. So I was supposed to have four wins this week and two losses. The two losses were the one that I didn't wait for my confirmation. Those one I knew they were losses because I broke my rule and everything. So full responsibility for those losses. But the rest of the four losses were actually winning trades. I just did dumb stuff. I just did dumb stuff. So this week I'm down 3% on my account. Yeah, it is what it is. So let's review the trades together and let me write my mistakes down and make sure that going into next week I won't be doing that. So let's start from the gold trade and what I did and why I did what I did. So we'll start the gold by this week's price action on gold. So where is this week's price action? Monday. Okay, is this gold? Let me delete this and zoom it in. Okay, so this is Monday price action, right? Okay, yeah. So this is Monday price action. Let me zoom into the 1 hour so I can uh, I can write it down. By the way, this is my personality diary. This is my video diary that I make to to keep myself in check. So this is Monday opening price right here. This is where the candle opened at on Monday right here. And after opening, we had an acceleration in price that broke this low. So when we broke this low during Asia, instead of me to wait for selling confirmation around here before, because when we broke this low, I was thinking price was going to use this low as it was going to use the low as a way to come down to this low to come and take out this liquidity. I was thinking price was going to this liquidity. That was what I was thinking price was going to, but I was wrong. Price wasn't going there. So I entered a sell here and price took me out. I entered a sell here. Okay. I took my first sell here and price took me out. And the second one inside this area, I saw a confirmation around inside this area, but I didn't wait for the right confirmation. And because I took that sell, I was trying to make my this thing. I was trying to make my money back, so I took another loss around there. I think the trade was in 1 to 1 hour, and I took another loss. So those were the losses I took on Monday on this particular pair. And on Tuesday, I didn't take any trade. I had this place marked out for price to come and tap me inside that trade, but it didn't. Like, it came and tapped me inside this trade on Thursday, but it gave me confirmation and never came back to my area. But on Thursday, I took a trade around here. I took a trade. Okay, we. Oh, what was the second trade that I took? What was the third trade that I took on ZAR USD? point. What trade was that? What trade was that? What trade was that? What trade was that? Was it this? Okay, yeah, it was this gap. Yeah, it was this gap, and yeah, it opened. Price did not respect the gap. Price just violate the gap. So yeah, it is. It is what it is, man. It just violate the gap, and yeah, I think I took a buy. I was going to bed, so I set a buy limit. Yeah, I was going to bed. I remember I was going to bed, and I set a buy limit around here, targeting a 1 to 3 that I usually do because I see price rejecting off of this gap right here, but it didn't work out. So you know the strategy, this was a good trade. I was supposed to take that trade. I didn't make mistake in taking this trade. The trade just didn't play out. So those are losses that comes with your strategy. So the fourth trade that I took on ZAL USD was this trade, this particular sell right here. I took this sell right here. It gave me confirmation. This sell, I took this sell to this place. This gave me confirmation. Let me drop down to the 15-minute time frame. So I'll be able to show my confirmation because I never personally take a trade without confirmation. So I had this place marked out. We have a break of structure. We have, after a break of structure, we have the inducement for the break of structure. This is the pullback that validates this area. And after that, look at this confirmation. I have this confirmation. I have this this rejection from that area, and I have this bearish engulfing candle. What's wrong? Sorry. So this area, this was the break of structure right here. We broke this structure. After breaking this structure, the first pullback, we have that first pullback. After the pullback, this area, look at this rejection and everything. So this rejection and everything happened during Asia. So, and I'm normally up during Asia. So during London, I was going to bed because of fasting. I'm normally up till like 6 a.m. Nigerian time, and London open around 7. So I set my limit around there, my sell limit around there, and you can see price came, took me out, and went straight to my take profit. So these two trades, they gave me confirmation. These two trades, I had confirmation. This loss losses happen in the market because price has already, after the opening gap, price has already respect this area. So, and it gave me another confirmation. Look at the second confirmation that it gave me here when I entered this trade. I always use confirmation for my trades, and let me even break down this trade properly. This trade, this is the gap here, and once we violate the gap, it's showing that price wants to push up. So I'll be buying this and taking my profit around here. So when we violate the gap, you see price is respected. We have this rejection. After this rejection, price came back into that area again and give a bullish engulfing candle. After the bullish engulfing candle, that was where I set my limit around here, and my stop was below here. And you can see the market came and stopped me out straight. So that was a loss that was reasonable. That was a good loss. That was a loss that happens with my edge. So if that trade presents itself like 5 times, obviously, and I do everything right, I'm not going to win all the five. You get, so that loss is it's acceptable. I didn't make any mistake. I took the right trade and everything. And this one also, I picked a point of interest. I waited for confirmation and stopped me out and went straight to my take profit. So this particular trade, I don't know what I could have done. Maybe I should stop taking limit because that's that, like, I'm considering stop putting limit and actually executing my trade live. If I'm going to bed, I won't trade. If I'm not awake, I won't trade. So I'll make sure I just trade during London and New York. So these two losses, I was right on this one. This one, I was wrong on this one. So this is a loss. This was supposed to be a win, but it was also a loss because the market came, as you all can see, it came, stopped me out. This was my SL here, stop me out and give this confirmation around here. And yeah, if I was awake though and I didn't set this limit, I'll be framing my whole trade around this other block right here. But it is what it is. And after that, I just didn't take. I was sick on Thursday. I didn't take any trade on ZAO again. I just let it be. I didn't take any trade on ZAO USD. I just allowed it, and yeah, that was it. So I took trade on just two pairs this week. ZAR USD and USD JPY. Those are the two pairs that I took trades on. And yeah, let's go. Let me break down the USD JPY. On the USD JPY, I was supposed to have two wins on USD JPY, but I ended up having two losses, And let me just explain why I had two losses. And I understand my mistake on this particular pair. That's not going to happen again. So this pair right here, it opened with this, and we broke, and like we overall we are bullish on this particular pair. So being bullish on this particular pair last week was the week prior to this week was a perfect week for me. I had a good trading week on this pair and across all the pair that I trade. So this week opening, this is Monday and Tuesday. I was waiting to catch the low of the week, which was this. And once we broke this trend line right here, my buyers has already shifted back to bullish because bullish is the right direction. So what now happened is that instead of me to to just follow my strategy the way I traded, we have a break of structure. This is the point of interest that was responsible for breaking the structure. So I will mark out that point of interest, and this is the inducement for that point of interest. And now this will be my POI, my point of interest that I'm willing to get confirmation from. And this gave me confirmation and everything. But because I was trading with the gap, we had a gap here, and when the gap failed, I wasn't really paying attention to this point of interest because I was framing my whole trade on the gap. So when the gap trade, and we had when markets open around here and we had this rejection, I entered here, and my stop was not below here. My stop was below here, and the market came, stopped me out by just one fucking pip, one freaking pip. The market stopped me out by just one pip and moved to my direction. That was what I dealt with. I think it was on Wednesday. It really pained me because my plan was to, because I knew the weekly bias was changing to bullish. So my plan was to enter that position and hold till like Friday. That trade would have given me like a 1 to 7, 1 to 8, and I would have stacked position on it. So my plan was to hold that trade till like Friday, but it stopped me out by one pip. Okay. I accepted that loss. I accepted my mistake. I saw exactly what I did wrong, what I should have done right. So that happened. And on Thursday again, I did so I didn't notice what I did wrong on Wednesday. It was until on Thursday before I noticed exactly what I did wrong. So on Thursday, I was like, okay. When it happened on Thursday again, I was like, yeah, so I know exactly where I'm fucking up now. So it's not going to happen again. So this is the gap. The gap is a strategy that I'm working on. It's like my own this thing that I'm developing, but it works great on ZAR USD. But now with the data that I have now, I have confirmation that it does not work on the forex currency pairs. So I'm not going to be trading them on currency pairs again. So this is it. We have this gap right here. Let me highlight the gap so that anybody watching this can see why I took this thing, why I ignored my point of interest. So using my data again, look at, we have this break of structure here. We broke this structure here. After breaking this structure, if I following my own strategy, we have this break of structure, we have point of interest, we have liquidity for that point of interest, and you can see the market came and gave confirmation for entry. So I could have gotten in on this right here, but because I was framing my whole trade on this particular gap right here, once we violate the gap, I had, because on gold, if we violate the gap like this, the market is not going to break below this low again. So when I was entering the trade, I framed my trade around this, like this other block right here, ignoring this one that was responsible for breaking the structure, because I thought, because I listen, I haven't come to the conclusion that this gap strategy does not work on the forest pair. So I thought I was going to frame it around here, and guess what? It stopped me out. Stopped me out. Came to this POI and gave confirmation and continued buying. So look at what I missed. I missed like about a one to. So if I had followed my plan, holding till Friday, which if we once we break this high, I will be closing, because this is the high that I was targeting. So this is a 1 to 9. Let's say a 1 to 9, And if I added another position to it, which if I had just waited, and followed my plan, if I added another position to it, I would have had, so a 1 to 13. So this mistake that I made cost me a 1 to 13 risk to reward ratio. A 1 to 13 risk to reward ratio. Just two trades on USDJPI cost me a 1 to 13 risk to reward ratio. So I'm not going to like this thing in trading, like I've come very very far. Like trading is showing me, like I'm seeing the sign, like my problem, no, my problem is not strategy, no more. I'm a master of my okay, let me not say master. I'm very very good at what I do when it comes to my strategy, and I have a system that works. I'm just in a space where I need to believe the system completely and stop trying to put another thing into it. I think the reason why I was, because I have, like, right now I have four strategies that I mastered. So I think now I'm trying to know the characteristics of the pairs that I trade, so that I will know the strategy that works best on this pair, doesn't work on this pair. So now I know that this particular strategy that I used in trading gold does not work on this forex pair. So I'm not going to be doing that same mistake. This loss was actually a good loss if we should look at what it taught me. Like taught me, like it's a progress. I made progress even though I took this loss. It wasn't a loss that I was in a good place to take, but I took it. It was a necessary loss for me because I'm still trying to get to that height of profitability. I'm still trying to get there. So it was a loss that actually, how will I say, it was a lot that was very very necessary for me to grow. So because of that reason, I'm not going, at least, even if it's a loss that I didn't understand, I'm not going to be bitching about it. I've gotten to a stage in forex trading that I don't see those things. That, like, losses does not, they don't freak me out again. I've accepted the ability to take loss. So this is my this thing, my weekly recap, and these are the things that I did wrong. Last week I had 4%. I had 4%. Yeah, 4% in profit, and this week I lost 3%. So yeah, so this is my weekly recap, and hopefully next week I have a better performance, which I believe I'm going to have. So, and if I was in a on this pair right now, there was another opportunity for me to get into it here using the breaker block model to get into a continuation here, but I was not, I was not in a good state. Once I had these two losses, I wasn't trying to force any trade. Any trade that I'm getting into that time, it's just me, forcing trade and everything. So I wasn't trying to do that, and I just accepted the loss. Just accepted it and everything. There was like a continuation for me also here to get into a breaker block continuation also here. Once we had this break of structure, there was a continuation for me also here. But I've just gotten to a stage where I just accept losses now. I don't chase once I have a loss, I accept that loss, and I study it, know exactly why I made that loss, and yeah, try to improve on it. So these are the things that I did last week, and these are my mistakes that I made. And hopefully next week I don't repeat the same shit. If you're watching this, thank you. And also, if you're a trader also watching this, learn how to journal. I'm doing this. This is not like, this video is not even for the public. It's for myself to actually have a physical recording of my journal and the things that I did that were not profitable to me. So yeah, thank you for watching. If this is helpful for you, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and recommend my channel to someone else that needs this. I'm trying to grow, and if I can help you grow, show the boy love. Till we meet again next week. Talk about